What's up, everybody? I am Trebles Garcia, and I want to introduce season 6 to all of you. Season 6 is cooking up in the mix. And guess what? You're going to be a part of it. Launching now, engaging with you personally on an intimate level, unapologetic and unmissable discussions every single Friday night live only on Instagram to be posted and published on every single platform, absolutely free, live. No Filter Mondays with Trebles Garcia and every single one of you, the subscribers, the listeners, the followers, the real investors of the show. So make sure you stay tuned. Tank, kick it off.
Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Tasticles 1-2. Tasticles. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Paranoid Radio Podcast. I am Trebles Garcia, the humble host of this amazing adventure. I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today. And I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me into your space. Guys, do not forget to check us out at paranoidradio.com. Check us out today at paranoidradio.com. And also, don't forget to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. This allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Guys, I have an amazing episode lined up for you guys. For the second dose of greatness, we have the greatness, Born Away Oracle with her second appearance here at Paranoid Radio Podcast. Vicky, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Check this out.
Good.
We spoke about reptilians, your reptilian encounter in the last episode, which was one of my fucking favorite parts of the show, dude. I was ecstatic. I did like 3 trailers on it. It was like that part of the show was my favorite. And like I always mention, everybody, I don't care about the viewership. I don't care about the likes. I care about the information we're putting out because it makes me happy. I make myself happy with this stuff, and you guys are for the ride. And I want to, I thank you guys for joining us, but I also want to thank you for sharing that information. And we spoke about fairies. I shared briefly with you what I went through. And then you talked to me about numbers. And then talking about numbers, the way I want to start this show is something happened to us in our messages right now, recently. I was like, boom, I took a shower. It was 4:15. I took a shower. I came out. I was, drying up my long silky hair that I have, obviously, because, I'm not bald.
It's gorgeous, darling.
Well, thank you. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, let me prep my show. And then I have a new table. I'm like, okay, I'm out. I set up the thing, connecting everything. And I'm like, okay, ready to go. And I text you and I'm like, email, please. I'm about to send it to you. And it was 4:44 p.m. my time here in California, in LA. And you told me it's 4:44. You laughed. And I was like, dude, I swear to God, I didn't try to do that at that time. Explain to me before we jump into anything, what does the 444 mean? When that happens, stuff like that.
Brief. I could go really in depth, but I'm going to give you a brief because that was actually a message for me from my angels, and I was sharing it with you. And there is something from it you can take from it too. Everybody can always take a message from, a numeric message if it's shared. But anyway, 444 means that if you have any doubts about what you're going to do or you're going to proceed to do or any goals or anything like that, you're highly protected. Your angels are around you. They're empowering you to go ahead and do it. Have no fear. You're surrounded by your angels.
Wow. Look at that.
That's what it means.
Very interesting. Extremely interesting. Okay. It's a beautiful moment. And again, thank you again for sharing that. And thank you for sharing your time with us here at Paranoid Radio Podcast. Vicky, let them know where they can find you before anything.
On Instagram at Born Awake Oracle and Spiritual Teaching, and on Clapper.
All right. Make sure you follow her. And now you can check her out and also find her on the drop-down menu of paranoidradio.com. Vicky from Born Awake Oracle on Instagram. You're very interesting. You have a lot of detailed information that I am a sucker for. And today you want to speak a little bit about the introduction on the face-off with these demon encounters, these demon entities that you've had before in previous days. Tell me more. Start off.
Okay, well, my first encounter that I had was a house clearing for a friend named Bonnie. And I was over there visiting, and I kept telling her there's she kept hearing a tapping on the wall, which was in the living room. That's the other side was the bedroom, and a little corner of it was the closet, right? And so I was like, you got a demon in the closet. And she goes, no way. And I said, yes, you have a demon in the closet. And I was like, can't you see it? And stuff. And she goes, no, I've opened that door and gone in there several times. And she had the gift of seeing, which sometimes she couldn't see the stuff that I could see. And then sometimes I couldn't hear the stuff that she could hear. So when we got together, stuff really took off when the spirit realm, you know, and everything, you know, because they were coming at us, you know.
Yeah, there's
And
two
so I
people
went in there
already be
and
able to see them.
yeah. And I went in there and I opened up the door and I'm like, it's right up there in the corner. Do you have any sage or, you know, Palo Santos and stuff? And she's like, yeah, I do. And her fiance came in there with a big, you know, shell of it and everything. And I lit it and I blessed it with my intentions on there because, you know, a lot of people don't understand that it means more when you have somebody genuinely care about you and give you sage. It's like a blessing. They want, you know, good for you. They want to help heal, you know, heal, get rid of it, you know, and stuff. So it means more.
Yeah.
And so I went in there and I saged it and I said, you guys need to get out of here. And so they were standing in the hallway and they had like 3 boxes standing up in the hallway because you come around the corner of the living room, there's 3 boxes and then there is the door, excuse me, into the spare bedroom. And they were standing right by these 3 boxes standing there. And I said, you guys need to get out of my way. Whatever you do, stand beside me, not behind me, but beside me. And they said, okay. So they were standing beside me. And then all of a sudden I said, here it comes. And it went shooting past Bonnie. And she's in her wheelchair. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
It went straight out the picture window and it was 2 stories high. Okay. But I told her fiance to open the window, which they did. They opened the window and it went out the window. I mean, it was like faster than anything. Okay. And then we all stood there and I said, can you guys see it now? And they said, yes. This thing was huge. It was the size of I'd say a Honda Civic. It was solid black, like what you can see on your, you know, your phone, how black it is.
Yeah.
And it, squiggly armed, it was huge. It had like tentacles coming out.
Yeah.
Squiggly armed, and it was huge. And we just had to stare down. And I was saying the Lord's Prayer and saying these other prayers, and I told them to say it with me too. And I said, you're going to need to help cast it out too, so it doesn't come back. I said, this is going to be a continual problem because of the type of people that live up above you. They're not good people. So we're going to have to, you know, do this every other week, you know, make sure.
This is an apartment. It wasn't a home.
No, it's an apartment.
Okay.
So anyway, we got it out and everything, and things were doing fine and stuff. And then we started hearing tapping on the boxes where they were standing by. We were sitting in the living room and everything. We started hearing tapping on the boxes. And I said, you got a spirit over there tapping on the box. I said, it's right there hiding. I said, you might as well show yourself. So the spirit comes around the corner and it's standing there, and it's an orb about this big and everything. And it's standing there, and I'm communicating with it, and I'm saying, if you're scared to cross over because of any sins that you did and you feel that it's going to hold you back, I said, God doesn't work like that. You have Judgment Day, and I explained what Judgment Day actually is.
Wow. Okay.
And as soon as I explained it, I said, please go in peace. And we all saw it just zoom right out the window, and it never came back.
Holy fuck. You know, that's the first time I've ever heard anybody with a paranormal activity, anybody that has been paranormally activated, speak about Judgment Day. First time ever. You know what? I've had many paranormal enthusiasts and people that hunt these ghosts, that could talk these ghosts, and that you know, pursue that entities of that sort, talk about them casting them out, but they never mention any type of the Lord's prayer or even Judgment Day. And that's crucial to understand, because I also have an understanding that the Bible speaks about the people that die. We don't go to hell nor heaven. We're waiting for judgment. We go into a fucking deep sleep. And it's almost as if were still roaming around. Explain that to me. Do you know a little bit about that?
I actually remember my judgment day from a past life of being a healing shaman, African American plantation worker. In fact, my main angel is someone I saved in that lifetime, and he chose this lifetime to come back and be my main guardian angel.
Okay.
Okay.
But do these things occur? Do past lives occur on this realm, in this earth?
Yeah. You can run into people. I've run into several people from a couple of my past lives. I remember 4 of my past lives. My main one that I've dealt with a lot of people is from me being a plantation worker. And I've ran into those people too. I ran into the man I killed in the past life.
Oh my God.
And stuff. He was trying to RAP a little girl behind the wood pile.
Okay.
And I rescued her, and I had my gun. And we're getting into some totally different. You sure you want to go?
Yeah. No, I get it. It goes into a deeper and emotional roller coaster.
Yeah,
as well.
I mean, we could do a whole show on this, and you'd be blown away.
That's wicked. Yeah, that's wild. And okay, so face off with the demon. And
that was the first one.
That was the first one. When was your second encounter?
My second encounter was when I was laying in bed, and my bed faced the hallway, which faced west. And I kept seeing, one of my friends said, and another lady who is a medium said, you've got like a vampire type demon in your home, and it's very powerful, and it's on that property.
Wow.
And I was like, a vampire? They are real. People don't understand, but they are real. Okay.
Yeah.
And part of you kind of doubts it, but then part of you doesn't, because of all the stuff that you've seen and everything. And one night I'm laying there, and I see down the hallway, and here comes this black caped, pale white, transparent, collar up like this cape, floating this far from the ground, going from the living room into the bathroom, and it's looking at me like this. And I told it, get that here, like that. Yeah. And it literally came back out and was standing in the hallway staring at me. And I said, I told you, get the hell out of here. And I yelled for my guardian angel, who was always stood in the closet where one of the main portholes was, to make sure nothing really came through and everything. And so anyway, he came out of the closet. His worm was like this. It was like opalescent and everything. And he came out, and he just took it out right there. Took it right on out. It's like he grabbed it and just pushed it through the walls and out the window to the next bedroom, and it was gone. And I told him, thank you, Peter. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate it. And that's my main guardian angel. The next time I had a standoff is, I used to do collabs on YouTube and everything with people, and people would say they'd hear growling. They'd say, is that your dog? And I'm like, no, I'd show them he's sleeping. And they're like, we hear growling and everything. And then a couple of my other friends said, you got a wall crawler demons. And they're demons that like to crawl on the wall and the ceilings, and they hang down and everything. And I was in the middle of doing a collab, and I got grabbed, and it grabbed my arm, and it literally felt like I was going to have a heart attack.
Wow.
Okay. And to the point where I was like, I had to end the collab. They noticed there was something wrong with me too. And I said, I'm sorry. And I left. Well, anyway, it was about a month later, and all of a sudden I seen this really fast, like that, from the living room into the bathroom. And then it would go from the bathroom into the living room. And then all of a sudden it crouched down, and it would go like that, like crouch down on all fours and go and stare at me and everything. And so finally, one night, it started moving really slow to the point where it was standing right in my hallway, staring at me. And I was at my bedroom door.
Oh my,
So we're
that's
talking
incredibly
about
close.
3 feet away from
Yeah.
the exit to the living
I'm already
room, and
visualizing
just
it.
turn to the right and you're in the bathroom, okay?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And people are like, well, how do you know it was a wall crawler? And I said, because my friend described what it looked like to her, that she could see it
Mm-hmm.
and everything. And it's the same one that would hang on down the ceiling above my head, and you could smell sulfur, you could smell graveyard dust, and you could smell mold and dirt, and it was just foul. And I just like, oh my gosh. And that's the signs of demons, okay? The
Mm-hmm.
smell of demons and everything, right? And so anyway, I was like, it's transparent. It was wearing a robe. It was a man,
Mm-hmm.
a man demon look. It was wearing a robe, and it was transparent. It was solid enough for me to see it, but transparent enough to where there was no skin color. It was transparent, like whitish gray, and it had the veins that you would have as a normal person were black. That's another way you can tell it's a demon. They were black veins running through all of its, what you could see of what would be skin.
Uh-huh.
And I told him to get the hell out of here. And it literally growled at me. It literally growled at me. And I've seen it a couple times before, but if you show fear, they feed into it. You know what I mean?
That energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's feeding off that specific frequency that you're putting out with your emotions and with your
Yes,
brain frequency. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
exactly. But that place made me so sick, so sick. Then we'll go into the next part of that later and everything.
Yo, Vicky, I do have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
A couple Halloweens ago, which is something I want you to be part of. So people know that I do a Fright Fest every October. This will be my 4th annual Fright Fest extravaganza, which means every Wednesday episode of October would be a Fright Fest theme, like a serial killer theme, paranormal activity theme, a cryptid theme, special scary stories theme, and I'll have different people send in their notes and their stories, and I'll read them out loud, etc. So I would love for you to be part of Fright Fest this year and start and kick it off with us. That'll be amazing with one of your stories, because I know you have plenty. Hopefully, right? If you agree. But I do have a question for you. About 2 Octobers ago, I went in deep on a conversation with my best friend, my co-host of the show, of I don't want to mention the demon's name, but it's the same name that took over.
Don't ever mention the demon's name, because that's you inviting it in.
Evoking it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same demon that took over the Annabelle doll, the nun, and I went deep into the movie, but then I also went deep into the real lore, the real story of it. And then I came into the book of I don't know if it was demonology. I think I forgot the names of, there's 71 or 56. I forgot the name, how many demons there is, but there's a demon that controls different legions for Satan. And they're like generals. And each of them can transform to 2 different special things. So that specific demon will turn into a baby on a dragon. And then it would have the nun. Right? And then different demons transform to different things, like the ones you were mentioning. They have one form, and then they're able to transform to other ones, and they have their own specific symbol. Kind of like how Led Zeppelin had their own specific symbols for their singers after they did the Aleister Crowley summons of, witchcraft and shit, sex magic. Mm-hmm. The same symbol. So have you ever encountered any of those symbols? Have you ever had an impact where you were almost overwhelmed with an entity, a demonic entity that would transform before your eyes or harm you in a physical manner?
I've been harmed numerous times, where it literally sent me into having the last 2 knee surgeries I had.
Are you serious? The one that kept you from coming on the show?
No. This was prior to. Okay. This was the last place I lived at. Uh-huh. I even had one cause an accident. I was pushed so hard. The last place I lived at, the yard and everything, it had a walk through, and it had to be like wait for a fire marshal, but they let you put up a piece of like wire fencing to keep your dog in your yard, not going to the neighbors and everything. And so I was out there doing that after I weed eated. and then how I can always tell when something's around. It's like I'm walking in between both the worlds. And I took 2 steps just normally, and I left the slider door open this far and the screen open. And normally, what's weird is normally I close the screen, but I didn't this time. And I took 2 steps and I got pushed so hard from behind that I went flying. And if I didn't angle my body the way it did, my head would have literally went through the slider glass door.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have they ever tried to possess you because of your? I mean, the people that come, they get attacked by these poltergeists. I would assume they don't attack you because they're weak. They attack you because you know that you're powerful, because they know that you have a gift.
They want to keep it where I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, because I do have a lot of power and a lot of strength, and a lot of people do too. But it's coming into your power and knowing your power and everything that makes you even more stronger, and they want to keep you from that. You know, they want to, it's kind of like a moth to a flame type thing, you know? They know, you can see them. They know that you can hear them. They know that you can smell them. They know that you can pick up the taste of if somebody got shot in the blood, from them.
Oh my God. Okay.
They know. I'm not being gross. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
So they know this, but they also like to attack people that are low vibrational and have addictions, because therefore it makes you even weaker. So they could turn around and possess you. Because the thing is with the demon, it's about enslavement, enticement, sickness. It's about total control. They want your soul. They want your body.
Wow.
To control you, and they want to take over and get your soul.
Yeah.
Okay. But yes, like I said, I've been bit. When I took Bonnie home once, and I came back from her place, and I had my dog with me, and it was like 104 out, 102 or 104 out. Don't quote me on the temperature, but it was hot. And my dog had to do number 1, and everything. So I'm standing there in the sun, and all of a sudden my arm just started burning, and it was burning and burning. And I was like, dang, I bet, I got to get him back in the house. And I always keep the leash around my wrist on this hand. And I opened up the door, and the top part of it was up here and everything. And I went to take it off, and there was 2 bite marks in my arm.
Spiritually attacked.
And blood draining down. And I was like, oh my gosh, that explains the burning. That was like fire. It wasn't from sun. It was from being bit. So I took 2 pictures, and I showed my friend Bonnie, and she's like, yeah, you got bit and stuff. She goes, I told you that property's infested. And I said, yeah, I know. But I said, it's like, how do you make people believe you to get, so you can get out of here,
Damn.
And then the other standoff I had was when I was doing the dishes in the kitchen, and something said, turn around. And my kitchen was like really big. And my dog was sitting over by the dining room table, and he's sitting there like this, like that. And something said, turn around. And I turned around, and I saw another black flashlight blob. Okay. But no tentacles or anything. And it was standing like right here. So imagine turning around from doing your dishes, and it's right there in front of you.
Exactly. It's always been there looking at you.
Yeah, it was so dark I could see it, but also I could see through it and see my dog like looking at it, looking at me, looking at it, looking at me. And as soon as I acknowledged it and told it to get out, it went right through the little wall by the slider door, and that was it.
It seems like you've been targeted in a sense. It's almost.
And people send stuff too. You got to understand, people send stuff because there's a lot of lower vibrating, and I'm not being mean, I'm speaking truth here. There's a lot of low vibrating mediums and psychics and people that practice dark arts that can look at a picture and tell that you're gifted. And so what do? They try to shut you down. so you don't outperform them.
Really?
The
Look at that, dude.
The spiritual community is very loving, but there's also a lot of people that are in the spiritual community that are very, very jelly people. And I don't even like to use the word, the H word, you know, and they don't want anybody getting ahead of them, and they don't feel like, and if they can't get ahead, they sure don't want you to do it. You see what I'm saying?
And I mean, I'm sure both of you guys, I'm sure anybody that has the gift also has a goal. And at this point, what I'm saying is, if you are fulfilling your destiny, fulfilling what you're supposed to do on earth and help guide other people, and they see you doing that better than they've ever done it, and they're only worshiping the darkness, that's what makes them tick. That's what makes them challenge you. That's what makes them send evil entities to you, because they see you as an opposition. That's wild. I didn't even know that was that.
I've been told, well, you'd be a better medium if you ate fish. And here I am collabing with the person on YouTube, and they're mad because everybody that's in the live, the 400 and some odd people in the live, want readings from me and not him.
What do you mean ate fish? Can you explain that to me?
Because he thought because he ate lots of fish and everything like that, that made him a stronger medium and stuff. And I'm just like,
is it because of the mercury?
Pardon me?
You think it's because of the mercury?
No, it's because some people think that way. You know, he ate lobster all the time and fish all the time. He collected fish, wood carvings and stuff like that. And it was just something to try to make a dig at me, and it didn't work. It didn't work, you know. That's just how trivial people can get. It's like they want to try to take you down, and you got to have faith in yourself and belief in yourself,
self-confidence. Yeah.
And no, because people don't understand, I'm just the middleman delivering the messages. If you have a disagreement, then you need to speak to the higher above. See?
Yeah, I hear you.
Not me. I'm just the middleman delivering the message, trying to help.
There's another message you wanted to deliver regarding fairies, and I would love to open up that can of worms, because I feel like there was more to speak about fairies in the last conversation. I don't think it's all there yet. I know there's more information. You said that you were also able to not only communicate and take part in the Council of Fairies, but also push evil fairies away to protect your own and protect your home. What else can you tell us about that experience?
Honestly, they're really, I did try to come back. I tried to come back through an open porthole through the stove, and I just shut the burner off and it got scorched. And I saw two fairies come in, two of the holistic fairies come in, and Shanog, who is a shaman fairy, come in, and those two took it back to their realm to get care, because he was really burnt from landing on the hot burner that I had just shut off. See, they can get, the thing is fairies always travel in threes. You might see one, but there's always two more looking. It's for protection. Okay. It's for protection. It's three or more. Okay. They don't ever go out by themselves. And I guarantee you, if this fairy shows itself to you, there's other ones hiding and they're watching. So that way, if anything happens, they can come in and take over. You see what I'm saying? And things. A lot of people don't know that fairies don't have toenails.
What?
Their wait. Their feet are totally different. Now, I remember in the last podcast, I said they're a lot like humans. Yes, they are, but they're also a lot different too. They age faster than we do. Yeah. So let's say, like I have four grandbaby fairies, excuse me. There's Philip, Matthew, Emmy, Jeb, and Sam. Okay. And I have a picture of them sitting on top of the wind chime, and it was Philip. And I took that picture and I was like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. And I showed my friend who could communicate with them more, and she was teaching me how to communicate with them more and everything. And she's like, that's Philip. And she goes, you're not going to believe it, but he's not a baby. He's like 2-3 months old. And in their time, that's quite old for them.
A full adult.
Yeah. Just like my fairy B came to me after the child that she had and helped take care of had passed away from cancer.
So they're susceptible not only to being burned by human technology, but also get human diseases.
Oh, they can get sick and stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they can have heart attacks. They have bad vision. They can have high blood pressure.
Do they have the ability? Now, the reason I'm gonna ask this question is because I did an episode with Big Tank, again, my co-host, and we spoke about how the Men in Black, right? How they show up at your house once you have a UFO encounter, et cetera, et cetera. And the guy's dressed in black, and then you think that they're from a 3-letter agency, but they're not. So the question is this: do they have so when you said, for example, I'm visualizing this, I saw my brownie, so there was 2 other ones looking at me, staring at him revealing himself to me, right? So there's other 2 guys watching us for protection for him. Let's hypothetically say that I was fast enough and smart enough to play foul and attack him. Would they be able to stop me? Would they be able to erase my memory? No. You never know. Okay, these are magical things.
I'm not laughing at you, but that's something that gang stalkers do. When I say gang stalkers, a lot of people think gangs, but it's not gangs. They're actually synthetics, NPCs, soulless people that stalk people that are highly spiritual and have a big mission on this life. Because what I do right now, I love, and but I've been told several times, and I know it, I have something bigger to do.
Yeah, I agree.
And so, it's finding out exactly what that is. But anyway, but gang stalkers, I've been gang stalked. I know several people that have been gang stalked, and they can, like, it's a trip. It's a trip. Let's just say I don't answer my door to anybody anymore. And if you don't call or text me before you come over and get an answer from me, I'm not obligated to answer my door to you.
Whoa. Physical. Like it's there in front of you. Like they come at your door.
Yeah. Every place, I couldn't figure it out. It was really weird. Every place I moved to, after 2 weeks of moving in, I would have the weirdest Twilight Zone experience of somebody coming to my door, and the look in their eyes was not human. And it was I don't know how to describe it. I really don't know how to describe it to the point to get people to understand. It's like a deadening look. It's like they have no life to them, and they're trying to come up with an excuse of why they're there. Like one guy, when I moved into this apartment, he was a gang stalker, and he was dressed like a city worker. And I opened the door, and I was like, yes, can I help you? Is such and such live here? And I was like, no, they don't. The look in his eyes was just deadening. He just stood there looking at me like I'm supposed to know who he is, and I don't. So I'm watching him walk away, and he just vanishes.
Oh my God.
Okay.
What's the mission? What's their purpose?
To stop you. They can turn your world upside down because they know that you have a purpose here to help break through the matrix, to bring people from the lower realms to the higher realms.
I hear you.
To help them come into their purpose, to help teach them how to listen to their guides and, their angels and things like that. Their ancestors. Yeah.
Wow.
And this goes on quite a lot. I've had it happen numerous times. That's why I said what I said. When I moved here, I will not answer the door. I made that a rule because I've had so many encounters with it, and I literally physically see them vanish. And they come up with any excuse. Oh, I thought your apartment was number 17. I said, it says 11 right there. Not here.
Like how do you skip? Yeah. Like what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just stupid. And she kept standing there like I'm supposed to get something. And then she went around the corner and my guide said, go follow her. And I did, and she wasn't there. She wasn't at unit 17 because 17 was the next building over across the grassy area, and she wasn't there.
I think I've ran into those, bro. It's funny. It's funny. It's funny. Because it seems
Yeah,
like that was weird. And you know what? Like for example, like me, right? Like
they try to stop you. They try to stop you. They will try to put you in situations
in a distraction.
Where you're literally trying to climb out of the gates of hell, basically, for what they try to do to you. Yeah. But the thing is, if you show fear more and more and more, you know.
I've had encounters where random people, it's like a random person, no one's seen them before. They didn't say anything specific to me. So I work at a shop. I work at this place where we serve the trade for electricians and construction workers, and we sell all the material that they use. I'm a sales rep, so I'm like, sometimes like this happened twice to me working at that spot in the last year. This is since my mother died to year to date, and they show up and they're just, yeah, is this the place where I could get this? I'm like, no, we only sell wholesale stuff for electricians or whatever. This is not like, no, I just told you that's not what we sell here. Like, and I look at him like, are you dumb? Like in my head, I'm puzzling. What are you asking me? You didn't understand what I just told you? I didn't speak in Chinese. I know damn sure I didn't fucking throw gang signs at you. I told you, we don't sell that here. You just asked me the same question again. No. Do you want me to get you somebody that may be able to help you? No, I'm okay. Okay, I'll return later. And then they wouldn't return later, but they would just walk away. At first, he came in, the woman in the red dress. I remember her. And this, I've seen her in my dreams. It came in as a woman in the red dress. I use that phrase as when I'm going to use drugs. I'm like, oh, I seen the woman in the red dress tonight. Like, oh shit, what does that mean? I use drugs. I'm on a downhill slope right now, whatever. So when I do relapse, I do say that a lot often. It's like if I'm manifesting it almost. But I've seen that shit happen twice at the place that I'd work at this past year. And it's trippy. And they just show up, and then it's like, sometimes it's a man with a beard, and he looks Latino. He looks like a regular dude, and he's coming at me. He's like, "This is not what you sound like." No, we don't sell any of that right here, bro. We don't sell tires. What does it say, tires, bro? like, no, thank you. No, like we don't sell tires. Is there anything else I could do for you? Can I just look around? Sure. And I just stare at them, and they're just like, with a freaking blank face, like no emotion in their jaw, no emotion in their under cheeks. It's just like they're just like a walking zombie avatar puppet. Trip out.
Some of them just don't get what you're saying. And it's not just some random person.
We would think it was drugs. We would think like, oh, it's a walking zombie. We would think they were fucking probably high.
Yeah, you could just basically, you can tell that they're not normal people. And then there's some of them that are very threatening. That literally, I've had a friend of mine that literally had them come up on her and told her to pull over and everything, and they were holding up the Illuminati hand signs and stuff.
Oh wow!
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, and she would not pull over or anything like that. And she said that she said a protection for her, and yeah, I don't want to get too far into that because that's not for me to give out yet and everything.
Let me ask you something that you told me that you wanted to talk about that really catches me going. You mentioned something about your death experiences. I'm intrigued.
Yep. On August 8th, 2021, and this was at the last place I lived at. Like I said, I was severely sick. I was literally being tapped by other dimensional beings, demons, spirits that wanted to drain me, but yet they wanted me gone too. See what I'm saying? And stuff. And
use you, abuse you until you're dead.
Yeah, suck you dry.
Yeah.
And stuff. They want you gone, but they want to use you. You see what I'm saying? They want to
utilize every single thing you have left.
And I was literally I came down with this mysterious pneumonia. I don't know how I got it because I wasn't out and about or anything. And this was like the heightened of COVID and stuff. And I didn't go grocery shopping and things. I'd have it delivered to my door, right? And or the Bishop Don would come down and bring me some groceries and everything. And so anyway, I came down with pneumonia for a year and a half. They put me on, I think it was 6 or 9 different medicines to try to get over it and everything. And they had to try to diagnose it over the phone because they didn't want me to come in because of the COVID going on. And so anyway, remember all those fires that BLM and those guys were starting and everything? And there were some that were here in Oregon, and it was coming from the Clackamas area over to by where I live. And we got a level 2 and a prepared message alert to prepare to evacuate. So I was loading up my car in advance to try to get the important stuff out and just leave whatever's there. And so I was out there for 2.5 hours breathing in the smoke. Plus it was coming through the cracks in the doors and the windows at the place I lived at. So I was breathing it in while I slept. Well, I came down with a very, very severe infection to the point where my lungs were so swollen, I had to go to the doctors. I'm trying to make this fast. So they put me on more medicine, inhalers, and then I had complications with that. They finally got it right and everything. And so I was waiting for my one inhaler to be filled, and I fell asleep. And I literally woke up to being choked around my neck. And I'm literally like this, grabbing the hands that were around my neck and trying to rip them off like this, rip them off so I could breathe. And all I could do, I listened to my guide and it said, get up and go to the kitchen. Get up and go to the kitchen. So I was hanging over the kitchen sink like this, holding on with my elbows to the kitchen sink, grasping for air, grasping for air. I finally got whatever was holding onto my neck to release. And I was gasping for air, trying to get air, trying to get air. So I took a puff of my one other inhaler and everything. And I started to slow down, started to breathe and everything. And then I took another puff and something was behind me and said, you're going to die.
Oh my God, dude. That is fucking terrifying.
I turned around to see what it was. And it was like, I'm like this and everything. And I took 2 steps and it was like my soul was the marionette string. So I literally stopped breathing. I could not breathe and I went down and my soul came out of my body. And I was given a choice right then and there. I literally came back over by where I was by the safe, my pineal gland, because everything you see here, taste and all that is through your pineal gland, okay? And stuff. So I came back over there and I was standing and I was looking, I saw everything through. I heard my dog come in from the living room and my body laying on the floor. And I was like, you know, I don't care if I die. I'm not scared of dying.
Yeah.
And see, because everybody thinks you automatically go to heaven right away. No, you don't. Some people linger. Some people linger because they're not sure what happened. Some people were murdered. You know what I mean? Some people, they just take a moment because they can't believe it happened. And then some people, yes, they go right away. And then some people, it's not their time. Okay. And so my dog came in and he was licking me and he started whimpering and he laid by me and put his paw on me and he was whimpering. And I said, you know what? I don't care if I go, but I do care that my dog is left here by himself. He has no one. And that's when something came up behind me and pushed me back into my body. But my guardian angels also said the reason why they did that is because there's so many spirits and demons there that I wasn't totally all the way gone. You know, my body was still, you know, my brain was still going and everything and stuff, that another entity or demon could have walked into my body and took over.
Get out, dude.
They pushed me into my body and I woke up gasping. And see, I've had 5 knee surgeries and 1 leg reconstruction. So when I fell, I really was twisted when I fell and everything. And so I'm gasping. I'm like, like this, trying to gasp for air. I'm dizzy and everything like that. And I couldn't hardly get up. I was so weak. It took me 4 weeks to recover from that. It's documented down at my doctor's offices too, that I died.
That you fucking died. And you got pushed back inside.
Because my mission was
your body was surrounded, and it would have been an avatar. It would have been a vessel. It would have been a fucking ship. Look at that,
for a walk-in or a demon. Yeah, my guides told me that. I'm very in tune with my guides, and I believe them. I'll believe them over anybody that tries to stand there and tell me you don't know what I'm talking about.
It makes perfect fucking sense.
I don't know everything, and I love to learn and everything like that. But I will believe my guides because 99.9 tenths of the time it comes true.
I'm right there with you. Wow.
I'd like to point this out right here behind me really quick. So if people see this, visual, they see this picture. The first night I moved into my new place, I was in the kitchen putting some stuff up, and my dog was laying by the kitchen door. And all of a sudden, through the wall over there by the slider door, because this side right here is storage for other people's storage, this black figure came flying through. And I knew what it was. And I was like, oh my gosh, here we go again. Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, that right there is a demon. And my granddaughter, I was watching her, and she was standing in the kitchen door. And I say, let Grammy take a picture of you. She said, okay. And I was so tired from moving and everything that I didn't really pay attention to it at first. Right. Well, I was thumbing through it with my grandbaby, and she goes, Grandma, that monster. She goes, that's scary. And I zoomed in and I looked at it. I was like, oh my gosh, that's what came through the wall. That thing, my grandbaby was standing like right here, right here. That thing was clear across the living room, hovering over my dog. It wasn't even a month after me living here. It took my dog's hearing.
And still to this day, is your dog still sick today?
My dog is still deaf.
What?
To this day. My dog could hear perfectly fine when I moved in here. There was no signs at the other place or here of any hearing disability or any hearing impairment or anything until we lived right here. And my dog was laying on the floor, and that thing hovered over my dog.
Did he scream, weep, anything?
No, see, because the thing is my dog's been through so much. I have a picture of my dog that I was walking down the hallway at the other place, and I could tell my dog was divinely sleeping. And so I took a picture of it and I sent it to my friend Bonnie because she was in love with Jasper. And I was like, it's like he's divinely sleeping. She said, Vicky, zoom in. She said, there's Thunder's face resting on Jasper's neck. He's calming him and soothing him because you guys have been through hell and he's so rattled. And I zoomed in, and you can literally see my other pit bull's face that I had before I adopted Jasper resting on his neck, protecting him so he could get some sleep.
That's a beautiful story. I remember you telling that in our audios, on our private messages. That is intense.
Yeah.
Wow, Vicky. You know what? This has been a very revealing episode from you. It has been less informational when it comes to data, but very testimonial. And it touches a lot of people's hearts. And there's a lot of people out there that are hiding or unaware or biased or even too stuck to believe anything else rather than religion or their strongholds in belief and stuff. And they are afraid to speak about things that are happening to them on a daily basis. And it's very important to take the right precautions, to have the right respect, and also to be aware that these entities and these things are happening to the average Joe person on a daily basis. And you don't have to be gifted to be attacked. You can be attacked at any given moment. And a lot of the times the people are getting attacked, they're, like I said, they're either afraid or they look for the wrong help. And this is where you come in. This is where a lot of people come in. Where can people reach you, Vicky? Let them know.
You can reach me on Instagram at Born Awake Oracle and Spiritual Teaching, or you can reach me on Clapper too.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check her out, Vicky. Born Awake Oracle, one of my favorite people now. She's part of the show, and I hope to have her back on October during the Fright Fest. It's only a couple months away. We're already preparing for October, guys, because we're having an amazing giveaway, and you're gonna get one of those t-shirts, of amazing Paranoid Reader t-shirts. I give a t-shirt absolutely free to every single caregiver of Paranoid, which is a collaborator. You're one of the biggest collaborators this year, so you're gonna get a special t-shirt care package, a couple of stickers, and a couple of things that I'm gonna be prepping up for that time. Vicky, I want to thank you so much. I want to thank you for what you do. I want to thank the Lord for allowing you to be here, allowing you to do things that are unimaginable and paranormal, and quite frankly, guiding everybody else that's hearing this episode and guiding the other people that you have helped. God bless you. God bless your godchilds. God bless your family. God bless your kids, and God bless everything that you touch, and make everything that you touch become gold. Synchronize, harmonize, and always put out your beautiful intent. I want to thank you so much for being on the show again, Vicky from Born Awake Oracle. Make sure you check her out. And ladies and gentlemen, check us out at paranoidradio.com and drop a 5-star review on a podcast. This allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Peace out.
Paranoid Radio.